Live? All right. We're back this week. We're treading in deep water. I'm going to use my Aunt Barbara's meatball recipe. If I get cease and desist letter in the mail from my uncle, I'll have to take the video down. Camera cut off there. Yeah, he don't mess around. He'll send me a letter in the mail immediately. I mean, this recipe's top secret. Aunt Barbara's perfected it for the past 30 years of her life. Ever since she was 20. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's dangerous to make. We're going to start off with the wine. Went to the ABC Liquors down the street. Josh's Cellars. Guy wrote on the back, I created my wines as a tribute to my dad, Josh. He's always been on my mind. $12 bottle of wine. Guy didn't think highly of his father, I guess. Somebody was complaining to me about the expensive bottle I bought this last week, so I just went, bought a couple of $10, $12. I mean, this is pretty good. It's not like a heavy flavor. It's light, but it's still good. Score probably 7.3 out of 10. My grandfather asked me to get him this Lambrusco. I mean, this is like grenadine in a bottle. Literally tastes like a Shirley Temple. I don't know why he likes it. It's cheap, $13. Sweet. I guess he doesn't like the. Coming off the last video, I mean, that one was tough. That ended up being like a 10-minute long video. And like taking the video as well as cooking all the parts to the steak was hot. Put it that way, I was sweating. All right, so I'm gonna be doing these two ways. I'm gonna be doing pasta, and then I'm gonna be doing a meatball sub. The trick with these meatballs is there's three kinds of meat. So there's ground beef, ground pork, and then ground veal. That's blueberry pie. Every man's got a weakness. Don't put those in the meatballs. As far as the pasta, it's gonna be penne. And then I went to go to the grocery store today, get a nice loaf of bread that they bake themselves. For vegetables, there's just gonna be onions and garlic, spices, S&P, salt and pepper, parsley, and then red pepper flake. It's hot down here in Florida. It's crazy. All right. So we got onion cut up, garlic cut up. I know it looks like a lot, but half of it's going to stay in the sauce. Half of it's for the meatballs. Saucepan going. Pot, whatever you want to call it. Not the stuff you smoke. We got olive oil in there. We're going to throw the onions and the garlic in there. We're going to saute that. Salt, pepper, and then a little bit of red pepper in there as well. Get it going. I'm telling you, the key to a good sauce is a wooden spoon. You get yourself a nice wooden spoon, you're going to have a good sauce. People are going to know you're legit. You're going to start with the garlic. That takes longer to render down, and then you're going to throw in the onions afterwards. All right, well, while you get your onions and garlic going in the pot, we got ground beef, which is going to give you beef flavor. Now, the veal is going to make it juicy, and the pork is what's going to hold it together. Throw those all in a big bowl, and then we'll add some breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, parsley, and then some Parmesan cheese. All right, so we got our three meats in there. We added Parmesan, breadcrumbs, parsley, salt, and pepper. Now we're going to add some pepper flake, 3 eggs, and then half of our onions and garlic that have been sauteing. All right, everybody's in the boat. Now, I'm a rubber guy. If you want a free verdict, go ahead, but we're going to get in there and mix this up. Now, we got our meatballs mixed up here. You can know they're done when it almost sticks together like a dough, right? Because you want to be able to form the meatball afterwards with the final product. So we're going to go ahead and go with our sauce, right? So we got these cans, Cento. I mean, this is the JV version. You really want pastines straight out of Italy. Pastines, probably the best tomato product they have. Tomato puree, 3 cans into the garlic and onions. You're going to bring that to a simmer afterwards. All right, so we got our sauce going. You're going to want to stir this probably about every 3 to 4 minutes. Going to bring that to simmer. Then we're going to add some basil, oregano, and parsley. Salt and pepper as well. Then the Parmesan cheese later. So I'm doing 2 different types of meatballs. These are for the sandwich. These are about tennis ball size, very big. They're gonna go in the oven, 350 for about 40 minutes. And then the rest of the meat's for about golf ball sized meatballs that are going to finish in the sauce, actually, and those are going to be for the pasta. Those are going to be a little bit more tender, and these are going to be a little bit more tough because you want them to hold up in the sandwich, and you don't want it to fall apart. The sandwich you want to hold together as one whole thing. All right, so we're going to add our oregano, basil, and parsley to the sauce. I'm not going to tell you the order. They keep that in Fort Knox. It's a family trade secret. DiVincenzo family trade secret. That's Italian. And then we're going to take our golf ball sized meatballs and we're going to add them to the skillet. Now I got olive oil on there. I mean, this thing's like the go-go gadget. Anything, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And we're going to brown probably 4 sides of these meatballs. Also very important, never forget salt and pepper to everything. You want to season everything. S&P 500. Gonna crumble tomorrow. So when you put these in the skillet, you want to hear a sear, and that's gonna make sure it crisps up on one side. Keep them separated. Don't want everybody too close to the pool. We're not playing Marco Polo. I had somebody ask me about vegetarian. Pasta and sauce should be fine for you. Just don't put the meatballs in the sauce. My mother doesn't eat red meat. So if you want to substitute turkey for the 3 meats you put in the meatballs, do that. Same thing. Tastes the same. All right, we're going in for the flip. You're going to want to see color. Number one thing. That's all we're going to want to see is color. That's the key to keep it in the juices once you finish it in the sauce. Also holds the meatball together when it's in the sauce, so when you stir it doesn't fall apart. And it adds like a little crispness when you cut into it when it's the finished product. Definitely want to make sure you want to keep stirring the sauce. You don't want it to burn on the bottom. A little bit later we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. It's going to add some saltiness. Chris Platt wanted a shout out this week. I've never seen a bigger Mac Miller fan in my life. I mean, that kid listened to his whole album in the dark in 2017 when he was still alive. I can't imagine what he did when he passed away. Incredible. Big guy's biggest fan. Mary just Snapchatted me. She said, thanks for covering me on the drink again. She's supposed to be making drinks every week. Well, her little sister just baked. Somebody posted that video on Facebook. She's slacking. I mean, this is a one-way ticket to the fame train. She's going to be out. And she doesn't understand. She's going to be out. She'll be doing accounting over at ESPN. All right, so we're going to reduce our sauce to low. We're going to finish it off. Parmesan cheese. It reduced enough to where it's thick enough to where I like it. I mean, it's going to continue reducing. And we're going to add our meatballs. These are ready to come off the skillet. Pretty much browned on all 4 sides. Hold it together, and then the middle will finish inside the sauce. All right, a little live update. Golf course, redoing the fairways, greens, tee boxes. Gotta be nice. Grandfather finished his collage. I owe him $20. It's all right. I'll pay him. I don't know how he did it with those mitts of hands. I mean, the guy's got baseball gloves, his hands. Sleeping. He'll be up for the food. All right, we got our sauce going, meatballs ready. We got our secret weapon for the sauce. If I can get this camera to work. 3 baby carrots going in. It's going to take out all the acid, make the sauce a richer flavor. And then we got our water going for our penne. We're going to add some salt, some olive oil to the water. I'm only going to do half a box. I'm not going to eat a lot of pasta tonight. Now these should hold together in the sauce because we hit them on pretty much 4 sides. Now the ones in the oven, they take longer to cook obviously because they're bigger. They look almost ready to go, about another 10 minutes. And those are going to be ones for the sandwich. We want those to be tougher. It's like to hold together a sandwich. You don't want a sandwich that's going to fall apart in your hands once you pick it up. That's a big portion. Now we got our water boiling. I mean, half a box of penne should take about 9 minutes. You really got to taste it. You got to take one out, taste it. If it still tastes chewy, then it's not for you. As far as the sauce goes, you're going to keep running it down. You can keep the sauce on for as long as you want. We're about to take out these meatballs, cut through one of them, and see if it's ready to go. You got to make sure you cook red meat all the way through, unless it's a steak, like a clean cut. I mean, and then we got this bread, beautiful roll, Publix. That's a spot down here in Florida. God's waiting room. I'll probably make a half a sandwich. Gonna use some American cheese. You can use provolone, mozzarella. I just like American cheese the best, melted. All right, this is very good. So, took our meatball out. Take a second to center. As long as you see no red, you're fine. Cooked all the way through, exactly what you wanted. So we're gonna put our bread in the oven with the cheese for about 2 minutes. Let it crisp up, melt. Build our sandwich. We're gonna strain our pasta in about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna make our bowl of penne and little red sauce with some meatballs. All right, now here's the trick for the pasta, right? You take a piece out, you put it in the strainer. All you're gonna want to do is just check the middle. The camera does. Oh, there we go. So if you see that white, that's still dry pasta that hasn't gone all the way through. I mean, all those guys on like the Food Network, they're like, oh, cook a pasta for a certain amount of time. You know how it's done. You really got to check each piece, right? Take it out one by one, see if it's done or not. And then once it's all finished, you take it all out. It's really simple. All right, final check on the bread. Get the salt out of the way. We're ready to go. Cheese is melted. Toasted on the outside. Cheese is going to continue to melt with the meatballs once we place them in. Pasta's ready to go. Checked it. Middle, no white. And when you bite into it, you're going to feel not like a mush, but a softer pasta that's al dente. You just got to keep checking. And I mean, that's the key. We'll turn that off. Sauce is still going on low with the meatballs in it. It's ready to go. We're going to plate up now. All right, we're going to start with the sauce, right? Wooden spoon. Always the key. Both sides of the bread. When the bread's toasted, the sauce won't soak in. You won't get mushy bread. It's the key to toast the bread. Now we're going to come with our meatballs. And we're going to layer. The reason we cut them in half is it just makes the sandwich a lot easier to handle. If you had a bunch of bigger pieces of meat on there, you wouldn't be able to handle it. And it would just go all over the place. Then you're going to finish with sauce. And you're going to fold. Alright, pasta simple. Same thing. Sauce. A lot easier if you don't have your phone in your hand. Now these meatballs are going to be a lot more tender. Like they'll fall apart in your mouth. They'll be very good. Just because they slow cook in the sauce in the middle. Whereas we finish the other one in the oven. All right, now you got to give me a score.
Huh?
Give me a score.
Let me eat it.
I'm probably going to get a letter in the mail from my uncle. Now, the kicker in those is definitely the red pepper. It adds a little bit of heat to the back of the meatball. I mean, they're moist, they're juicy. Depending on how big you make them, they're big. Definitely a recipe to try. Next week, we're going to continue with Italian. I haven't decided yet. I think I'll let my grandfather make the decision.
I'll tell you what to make.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on.